Hi, my name is Sunny Daly, and today I will be your host of Giving Back, a program that was designed by me and my usual co-host, Arthur Bergeron, who is an elder law attorney that specializes in estate and legacy giving. And he asked me to join him because I am the executive director of the Community Foundation for Nantucket. We thought the show Giving Back would be a great way to introduce viewers to those that are doing the work on Nantucket that supports Nantucketers. So today I'm happy to have my guest, Gennifer. She's here from Habitat for Humanity, and I'm going to ask her a little bit about the organization as a way of introducing the viewers to the important work happening here on Nantucket. So with that, Gennifer, if you would, give us a little bit about yourself and the organization that you work for.
Sure. My name is Gennifer Costanzo, and I work for Habitat for Humanity here on Nantucket Island. We've had a chapter here on Nantucket since 2004. My role with Habitat is I am the coordinator for development and communications. We have a small but mighty office here. So far we have built 22 homes. We're getting ready to finish up actually our last 6 homes that we're in the process of building on Waite Drive. And we have had a lottery this past summer where we put 4 single families into the single family homes, and we're going to have a lottery coming up later this summer for the duplex. So we're really excited about this project. It's our largest project to date. One thing about the Habitat model is the fact that it's international, and it's a national affiliate that many of you, I'm sure, are aware of. And what's very unique about Habitat for Humanity is that we build homes for home ownership, and the national model is that our homeowners give back in the way of what we call sweat equity. And so they volunteer for the hours and get to know their home on a very intimate level. And we require 350 hours of volunteer work. And the uniqueness of this is the fact that, too, we get to utilize volunteers in the community. And so it has that positive, ripple effect. And so that's one of the requirements. Habitat is building homes that are affordable. And we all know that housing here on Nantucket is definitely a crisis.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about what the housing needs look like on Nantucket as a whole, and then how your organization is working to address that, and what sort of families are housed in Habitat houses?
Well, the housing market here on Nantucket is very desirable in the fact that a lot of people, want to live here, and we have become this seasonal community. And as a result of that, the year-round housing market has suffered in the rental aspect and in the home ownership aspect, which has driven, the prices up of trying to purchase a home to be very unattainable for your average, year-round resident here on Nantucket. So to maintain, a healthy community, which I know we all strive for and want here on Nantucket, that we need to have year-round housing. So the overall effect is just so positive.
That's great. And you said you've been in existence for 20 years and you still have families housed that were original homeowners?
Yes, we're very proud of that fact. Our first Habitat homeowner, that family is still in their home. We have all the original homeowners still in the homes that they helped build.
Yeah, so that really speaks to the building the fabric of a healthy community.
Absolutely.
Where you have people that are choosing to live their lives here, quite honestly.
So we've had families who are going to be in number 9 who are helping the families over at number 5 build their homes. So they're already creating that connection and community and sense of neighborhood within the Waite Drive Village, and that's just really been a very unique aspect of that project to watch.
It kind of gave me chills because that's kind of the best part of living in a neighborhood is knowing your neighbors and having that camaraderie, and it's very different than living in different sections of the island where perhaps you're the only neighbor in the winter. So that's a really positive and wonderful story. And you said there's 6 units over in Waite Drive?
There's 6 units. With the Waite Drive Village project, we received a donation from the town for the land, and then we've had to rely on the many other generous donations to make this project affordable. And we get our funding from various aspects in the community and from off island, but mainly from community members and organizations. So with that said, we have 2 3-bedroom homes with 2.5 baths and an unfinished basement. Basements are like golden here on Nantucket.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have 2 single-family homes, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and we are just breaking ground on the central duplex, which that's the next lottery that we'll do, and then that project will be finished.
And when is that lottery? Because people may be interested in knowing
Yes,
about
well,
that.
we're going to have the open family application that will open up April 15th, and we'll close those applications off June 16th, and then the lottery is penciled in for June 25th.
Wow, that's exciting. So
Very,
this year,
very
folks will
exciting.
know if they've won that lottery.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And 6 homes, is that about the average clip that you're building at?
Normally we don't build this many homes at this capacity. Our last project was on Benjamin Drive, and that was for 3 homes. So we doubled.
That's incredible.
So we're really proud of that. It's taken a lot of dedication. We have a great board with Habitat. We couldn't do what we do without the dedicated board. And then I work part-time. We have a part-time office manager who's been with Habitat forever, Steve Godwin, who is the institutional knowledge of our organization. And then we also have a construction manager who's on site, daily, and he is also a Habitat homeowner.
Oh, neat.
Yes.
Yeah, so it takes many hands.
Definitely.
But it seems as though there's been some exponential growth, because I remember it was a much slower march towards progress, right? There were one home every couple years, and it just seems like all of a sudden, I don't know if it's the people and the money and the attention to housing, a combination thereof, but the organization's been able to do some incredible work recently, just in the sheer number of homes that are being built.
We had a definitely slow period during COVID. And then we had to put two of our projects on hold during COVID. So we finished up those projects on Beach Drive, which is part of Richmond development. And then after that, now we've been really, really getting the nails out, the hammers, and the workforce right out to getting things really built.
It's interesting to think about the growth that you've had, and I was kind of wondering, is that in part due to the land becoming available? Because you're not building all these homes on one site, right? So can you talk a little bit about what it's like to receive or secure land? Because we all know there's not a ton of buildable land either. So what does that look like?
Well, land, of course, you have to have land to build a home. It goes without saying. So what we've been fortunate enough to do, Habitat for Nantucket, is partner with the town of Nantucket. They're very dedicated to trying to build affordable homes for our community. So the relationship that we have with them is that they gift us the land, because we could not purchase the land at the market price. So they gift us the land, and part of that partnership is that all of the homes that we build now are part of the Sustainable Housing Inventory, which keeps Nantucket in safe harbor, which means that every community within the Commonwealth has to maintain 10% of their year-round housing inventory for affordable housing.
That's great, because I think those are words people have heard thrown around, the safe harbor, and not really having a sense of what that means and how do we achieve it. So the town really looked to this partnership with Habitat as a way of achieving safe harbor and making sure that there was affordable housing available for Nantucket residents. So kind of a win-win for both of you. Or
Definitely.
both of us, I should say.
Well, and for the whole community, because then we hear the term, a 40B, an undesirable 40B.
And that's the risk of not having safe harbor, is
Yes.
these types of developments? Okay. And so by building these homes, you help avoid that unfriendly development because you're meeting that threshold for affordable housing on Nantucket. Is that right?
That's
Okay.
right. And I think what, I've been educating myself. I've been with Habitat now for 4 years. And before I became involved with housing, you think it's a simple mathematical equation. Lack of housing, build more homes, that equals more homes. If it was only that simple, it would have been done already.
Right.
And when you're building within a town, we don't want it all clustered. Mm-hmm. We want, scattered development. So with partnering with Habitat for Nantucket, we can have more scattered development versus a huge development in certain areas. And that just keeps a neighborhood more like a neighborhood feel.
Yeah.
We want the lights on.
That's a great visual, actually, and thinking about neighborhoods and how important that is to a healthy community. So tell me what's coming down the pike for Habitat for Humanity. What's up next?
Well, we're always looking for what our next project can be because we want to remain, active. We don't want a dormant period. So I know that there have been, discussions in regards to what our next project is and where they might be. I'm not really at liberty to completely unveil because things aren't there yet, but I know we have been eyeing a few properties, and we will continue to do what we need to do to keep building and keeping applications open for people, because I think it's really important because it can be so stressful as a family, wondering where you're going to live. I mean, it's a basic need. Housing is a basic need. Having a safe shelter is a basic need. So with our projects, to really try to answer your question, we're always looking for available land. So if anyone ever wanted to donate land to Habitat for Humanity, we're always welcome those kind of conversations if they're out there. Mm-hmm. But mainly we've been partnering with the town of Nantucket, and we feel very lucky to have been able to do that.
If people are interested in, one, learning about the program in more detail, so potentially if they want to become homeowners, mm-hmm. or if they're interested in finding out how to support the organization, donate land, donate time, donate expertise, how do they go about doing that? And maybe if you could talk about it in those two separate veins.
Okay. There's certain basic qualifications that one has to have to become a Habitat homeowner. One is that you have to be income qualified. All of our homes that we build are for those that are at 80% of the annual median income. And those numbers were just released for 2025 on April 1st. So we have, new income levels. So that's one qualification.
And that's a federal number that comes out, or how do people find that number?
That is a federal number, and it's based on the community or county that you live in.
Okay.
So the new area medium income for the county of Nantucket is $153,000 right now. Okay. So for a family of 4 at 80% of the AMI is now $119,000. You can't make over that. Okay. That's that qualification. You can't have more than $75,000 in asset. You have to be in need of stable year-round housing. If you already have good housing, we're really looking for those who are compromised in their current housing situation. And you can't have owned a home. And the other one is that you need to be either a U.S. resident or a U.S. citizen.
Are there any other qualifications to being a homeowner with Habitat for Humanity?
Yes, and as I mentioned previously, what's unique with Habitat is that you have to be able to volunteer, and that's the 350 sweat equity hours. That's another qualification.
And that's on your own home or on your neighbor's home, or does it matter?
However you want to volunteer those hours.
That's great. I remember my neighbors volunteering on their home, and they brought their kids, and the wife was making food, and it was just really fun.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. And so what if folks are interested in learning more about Habitat for Humanity or volunteering? Is there a place they can learn more?
Absolutely. They can go to our website, Habitat Nantucket. They can reach us at our office, which is located at 75 Old South Road. They can give us a call, email. we're open to all conversations, and we will promptly get back with you.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Gennifer, for taking the time to speak with me. We're grateful for the work you do to house Nantucketers.
Thank you, Sunny. I appreciate this opportunity to speak on the behalf of Habitat for Humanity.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me at Giving Back.